Because the guy in here, Jamaican YouTuber. I really was contemplating whether I should make a formal type of video for YouTube about my COVID experience in Japan. I, for a couple of weeks, I've been out of it. Actually, I caught COVID, and I caught COVID in a place where I thought should be safe, somewhere where I mean, people were gathered. But there's a long story there. But long story short, I caught COVID uh, going to a gathering, from a gathering on a Sunday. I don't think I even told my parents properly about that. But yeah, I caught COVID. First, I went to work for the week following. I had some symptoms. I had a headache on Tuesday, fever. What I fought through, fevers. I get bad fevers sometimes. And on Thursday, when I came home from work and had something to eat and I lost the sense of taste, for the first time in my life, I just said, you know what, this looks like COVID. I have some clips here that I had taken during my whole time in the hospital, on my way to the hospital, just to, I recorded. I didn't want to, I don't know how to explain it, but even in those moments leading up to, it was just crazy. So there's a full video with some details on my IG profile if you want to check that out. But this is just a little synopsis plus some actual clips of what was happening during the time. Now, I was petrified for my life. The fact that I couldn't even breathe properly at one point, I panicked. I said, man or no man, I'm going to call the ambulance. I called the ambulance, and that process in itself was just a whole cluster fudge. It was, I mean, imagine calling, on the verge of, well, feeling like you're going to die or in really serious complications, and this person on the line is not being as helpful and calming as you need them to be. And the fact that they're speaking in a language that is not your native tongue as well. And it was, I actually, after getting the ambulance, and you can check my location on the GPS. This is modern times. The ambulances or the emergency services track your location. So I gave my address, and eventually they came 20 minutes later. I passed out in a chair waiting on them because I don't know what happened. They did a lot of things. They put me in a stretcher that I couldn't hold in. It was like a coffin type stretcher with the oxygen with the top covered. They zipped it off, put me in. I had to curl up and be in a very uncomfortable position because I was a bit too large for it. And it was just not a pleasant experience. Getting to the hospital, I was there when I actually arrived. I was there for 20 minutes in the ambulance still waiting to be admitted and to be processed. And there were a lot of personnel around, and it was a whole ordeal. It was almost like a movie. It was raining outside. I mean, I don't know if it was a pathetic fallacy or what, but I felt like the whole world was with me at that point, and I still felt lonely in that moment. I felt vulnerable. I felt afraid, very scared. After that, they took me in and they were doing their tests. Told me to take off my shirt, take off my chain. Set up the IV, set up the drip in my hand. They couldn't find veins. That's a problem wherever in the world I go. In Jamaica, I have deep line veins, so it doesn't really show up in the skin. So I had to take the drip from here, somewhere here, on my hand here. I mean, I almost called it a hotel. When I went to the hospital, and they took me to the elevator in the room. The rooms were nice. It was almost like a hotel. It was 10,000 yen a night, I think, for that private room, and then they moved me into a 4-man room where there were 2 other persons there. So I went to the bathroom in a bottle sometimes because I was hooked up to the oxygen, and it would be too far for me to go. I was having hallucinations. I had people. Let me just go back to the first hospital is at fault. They diagnosed me first of all. I went to the first place, walked to the hospital to get tested because of the the symptoms. The hospital said to me, after I told them that I probably have corona, they put me on like a room part, or like like in the movie Saw, where you have like a one fan in the room and a chair, and your room. That is what the place looked like, an alleyway with a little chain to block it off, and they left you around there to go and wait, because you can't wait with the general populace. Eventually, someone else comes to the door, a nurse comes to the door, take my blood pressure, takes whatever she has to do, and go back in. That's how they were dealing with me, like a plague. Eventually, they did the PCR test. Come on. She asked if I want to stay, because the results are available within an hour. I said no, I'll walk back home. I get a call from the doctor. The doctor says, "Oh, you have corona, so what you're going to do is stay home, drink tea and water. Drink tea and water and isolate." So I asked her about the medication. Oh, well, yeah, the medication, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they said somebody will come the following day with the medication, and don't worry about the bill. But I was already walking back to the hospital. I said, I'm outside. What do I do about the bill? What about the medication? No one could provide me with any suitable answer. But they said the medication will come the following day. All that happened was that the medical department called me, gave me a thermometer and the oxygen aspirator thingamajig, oximeter. I didn't know how important that was. The oximeter was telling me that I wasn't retaining any oxygen, and that is how I had to call the hospital. I was supposed to be averaging 95. I was at hitting at 88, 87 consistently below the level. Yeah. So these are some of the clips of what happened, as you can see. Alright guys, I might just have COVID-19, and I'm going to go to test tomorrow. Well, today, August 27th. I lost taste in food. Had some headaches. Oh man. Damn. People, smell. You feeling it? All right, people. I was even supposed to plan this never in the plan at all. I went the hospital. Yeah, that person is not. It's a 4-person room, but it's carding it off or whatever. It has been hell between the stress of staying alive and communicating with people back and forth. It is not an experience I wish on anybody. Trust me, brother. The fever alone, I had like high fever for like 4 to 5 days. The first hospital that diagnosed me sent me home and said drink water and tea. They never gave me any medication. Zine, and I was very pissed. I was very upset about that. And when I asked, nobody would do. They said somebody would bring me something. So my parents weren't too happy about that either. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here. This is the a machine. I think I turned it off by mistake. Yeah, so this measures my oxygen and stuff, oxygen saturation level and pulse. Oh. So I learned a lot. I've been learning a lot about my breathing and lungs, and that most of your airways of the lungs in your back, so you can't sleep on your back because you cut off the airways. So you have to lie sleep on it on your stomach. Yeah. And so I think I did snore loud. I think that's why I sound when I snore. But I haven't been able to sleep properly. So it's there. So this is why I haven't been making any content on YouTube for the last week. 2 weeks actually, because before I wasn't feeling so hot. And then all the symptoms just start crash down upon me. This is my room. Okay. This is my room. To look inside here. I don't even look out the window. I don't see the view. All of the oxygen real pure. So I gotta go to the bathroom. Alright then. It's raining outside. So the next yeah. Next person. Damn it. Alright, I'm go to the bathroom, Breakfast on the 3rd of September. I not drink milk, so I know where that I go. Sandwich. Yo, them love mayonnaise over here, My God. Everything is just a blur. Feeling better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling better, but everything is a blur. Today is Saturday afternoon. So. Yeah. Japanese yukata. In the Japanese hospital. With the Japanese thermometer. Blood fire going out. Right, so this is go. So this is my X-rays and I just came in at 2:48 in the morning on September 2. It was scary. It's like I don't know if I was gonna live or die. And then this is after. This is on death. Next morning, they said it had significant improvements. So we're still here, we're fighting. We never come to Japan for suffer. And yeah, in terms of the care, the patient care, I think Japan did really well with that. They were attentive, they listened, and there's this woman who was trying to speak to me and explain stuff to me in the device, but she kept shouting, and the device sometimes couldn't pick it up. And but they really just did show an effort. The Hippocratic Oath. That's what the doctors and nurses take. I think they really put out the effort, and they were trying to understand. They tried to assist me as best as they could. Most of the doctors could speak English, but they weren't as confident. But the English was really good. And for what they didn't understand, they found a way to communicate with me. Although I would have been more comfortable with a native English speaker so we could get the communication flowing a bit more quickly because it's medical stuff. But at the end of the day, I think I was handled well. I treated well. So at one point, they came to me and told me I could use my phone, but I told them please also tell the other persons in the room who are using their phone as well. And that was the only time I think I felt a little bit of discrimination. I hallucinated in the hospital. I had a high fever of about 39 degrees, averaging 39 degrees for 5 days before I got in the hospital. I developed pneumonia. They took x-rays. My x-rays. So this is when I entered the hospital. and this is when a couple of days after, for those who know the science of this stuff. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think. Any other details you can check the IG video. I don't want this video to be too long. It's already probably gone to about 20 minutes. Yeah. Any questions you can ask me down in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. People read the vaccine. I can't know because of the so sorry. So there's a particular treatment they use for me, a steroid treatment, which has affected my antibodies, which does not allow me to take the vaccine at this time. I have to wait 3 months before I can go and take the vaccine. I was cleared for work. Also, something else. I don't understand. Also, the whole issue of the vaccine, persons have other conditions which preclude them from actually getting the vaccine or taking it. So the one time spreader, hurry up and get the vaccine. I think persons should try and get the vaccine, yes, but make sure you are able to and your body is ready to take that vaccine, because the persons have issues like whatever issues before that might adversely affect how they react to the vaccine. So please make sure you check that out. I'm not saying that for whatever reason you're not taking the vaccine, then you must practice the social distancing and mask, and even more than usual. There must be a way to have a healthy discourse about the vaccine, because people are doing things and putting things in their body and they never questioned it before, but all of a sudden, 40 years of research and advancement in science, and everybody's questioning technology and them something. I was skeptical as well initially about the vaccines and stuff, and how they tried to force it to people, but I just want to get back to some level of normalcy, which I don't think is ever going to happen ever again, because whatever persons, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's the video. I just want you guys to be careful. I would wish COVID had my worst enemy. The breathing, man. The breathing part is really what me. I was on oxygen for a while. The video's all over the place. Alright, I'm done now.